In this video, we are going to discuss model manipulation inside of DentalCad in SmileStream. And this is a method to get the working model, or the one that you are actually going to use in treatment, into the top position up here on the model box. SmileStream always defaults to this model, whatever model is in this position. So you do not want your working model to be some other position other than this. This is the model that shows up in the archwire appliance tab. This is also the model position where the archwires are selected, and so on and so forth. So it is very beneficial to you doctors to have that model in the top box in this position. So here we are with a regular student case, could be just like yours. So the first thing I always do with this is I'm going to make a copy of this, because this is what the student doctor did. So I'll duplicate this, and you see the button there to duplicate, and I'll call it Start Copy Uncorrected. Alright, Start Copy Uncorrected, and then that goes below my start. And then for the start model, I will rename it, and I'm going to rename it Start Corrected with a little X behind it, and there we go. Start with the little X behind it, and the reason for that little X will become apparent here in just a minute. So now on the corrected one, we can see this is not the correct archwire in here, so I'm going to change that into the correct archwire, and I'll adjust the position of that. And this is a non-extraction ovoid number 2, average incisal edge, and theoretical brackets on posterior teeth. And then whatever points need to be edited, I can go through and do that. In other words, I will make the crowding count be correct. And this looks pretty good. Let me zoom this up for a sec. I don't want to waste a lot of time on the corrections, because I want you to just see how to do the model manipulation. So those of you who know me, you know I go through the models on every single case and edit all the points. So I will just do a little bit of that here for us. That in the right spot. And for this patient, she should have maybe 1 crowded in the bottom and probably 0 to 1 in the upper. So I press the calculation tab here, and I'll get 1.7 lower and 1.9 upper. So I just have to adjust a few little points here in the posterior area to get that number to be less. There's 1.1, that's totally acceptable. And in the upper, we'll manipulate a couple of other points, but not the incisors, docs. Leave that the way it is. So now I have 1 and 1, so I'm looking good. So now I'm going to make a copy of that, and you'll see why the X was in there in a minute. So then I can just say Start Corrected and save that. This goes on the bottom of the list. Now, it's not apparent right now, but the Start Corrected X model will be the top position. So I have to go someplace else. So let me go to, for instance, the picture tab. No, let's go to the classification tab, and we'll see once this comes up. Now I reopen DentalCad, and the Start Corrected X will be in the top position. So let's say when the data populates, I open the model, and I get Start Corrected X in the top position. So now this is the model that's going to be the working model. So I will rename this for whatever it is that I'm going to do. And for this case, let's say it's just regular class 2 elastics. So I will call this class 2 elastics. And this is now the top box. And now I can manipulate the points to reflect the class 2 correction with rubber bands. And I move the 3, 6, 4, 6 mesial points forward, the amount of class 2 that the patient has, whatever that might be. And I usually change the archwire into a more expanded shape. And let's look at that while we're here. So the non-extraction ovoid number 2 lower crowding count should be 1.6. And then when I change this wire into a non-extraction ovoid 1, and I put it back on the average incisal edge, because that's the wire repeatability position, and then press the calculate button, it will either help me or it will not. And you see the 1.6 crowding was reduced to nothing or 0, so that is a benefit when you're trying to limit the lower incisor advancement. So now let's fix the little bit of class 2 that she has, so we advance the points forward, and let's just take an arbitrary presumption that she has 2 millimeters of class 2 per side, and now this has become the working model in the top position. So notice now when I go to the appliance tab, and when it finally opens, inside of the archwire tab here, when the data populates, and you will see that the class 2 elastic model that I have made is in the top position, and the wires are the correct wires. And this again is the non-extraction number 1 ovoid wire, and that should be good. So I hope that was helpful, doctors, about how to manipulate the models and get the working model, the one you really want to be, in the top box. And that top position, I should say, is the one that DentalCad defaults to when it's looking for rotations, when it's looking for the crowding, when it's looking for the arch wires, and so on. So click that open again, and we should still have class 2 elastic model in the top box. Okay, doctors, I hope you found that beneficial, and good luck on all your cases. Thanks.